We go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coming Into Being. And here we are for another Wednesday of our wonderful, fun time, relaxing time, chilling time, getting settled in my seat here. And Wisdom Happy, hello, popping right in with a client dog. Oh, fun. Fun to have doggies and kitties with us. So very nice. So, if you're sitting in the parameters here and watching in the behind the scenes, do feel free to stop in and say hi in the chat. It's always fun to know who's there. And sometimes special messages come up for those watching. So always, it's this is really good. I have said this before, but it's always bears repeating, especially for those of us who have a tendency to race around, which is I have a tendency to be that way. So when I have like several things that I know I'm ahead, is just kind of go from one thing to another. So it's always good to just come sit for a second, chill, connect with yourself. So let's take this moment to do that now, and just take a deep breath in. Hold it at the top. Hey, hello, Lydia. Hold it at the top and then just release it out. Release it slowly and feel that breath just moving out of your lungs, exhaling out. Just slowly, just kind of following your body, just following that movement of the collapse in of the lungs and everything. Let yourself just follow that and see if you can go all the way down until the breath just comes right back in normally. That's a really good thing for people with anxiety. It's just like squeeze all the air out of your lungs. Your body's going to kick back in. There's that survival mechanism. It's like, I need a breath. That's going to kick right back in. And doing that will help to just shift out of anxiety mode. Also, because when we're in a place of anxiety or stress, we have a tendency to breathe from up here, and we want to move our breath so that it's actually down into the lungs. So taking another deep breath in, again, holding it, and see how long you can hold it for. Just hold it at a count of 10. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can hold it for longer. And that gets you real present and focusing on hold my breath, hold my breath, hold my breath, hold my breath. And then just relax and let it all out. Whether it's fast or slow, it doesn't matter. Just let it all out. Okay. Coming into that space of just being aware of yourself in your environment. Feel your body. And so you can actually do this really quickly. I've called it a body scan before. So you just start with your head, just kind of become aware of your head. You get eyes open, eyes closed, doesn't matter. And just have a sense, that feeling of your head. Notice where that's at, just energetically or physically, any tensions or anything. Then come into your neck, notice your neck. Same thing all the way through us. I'll just name the body parts. And then top of shoulders, down the arms, just becoming aware of each body part and just adding to what you're already aware of, or where you've already gone through. Torso, upper torso, front and back, noticing those ribs, noticing whatever else, the internals, the externals, the skin, the flesh, the lungs on the inside, the heart. Becoming aware of that movement of the breath. Waist, lower abdomen. Becoming aware of your spine. And just noticing where it's at in the moment, the present moment. Then your going into your hips and your thighs. Knees, lower legs, ankles, feet, all the way to the toes. So having a sense of that whole body now, all together. And as you, so sit a minute with your eyes open. Let's do this with the eyes open because it's good practice. Because that's how we spend most of our times when we're interacting with other people, right? Eyes open. And awareness of your body. And as you're looking around, be aware of you in your body. Your consciousness, when I say you in your body, I mean your consciousness in your physical body. Your physical body being that vehicle for your consciousness, for your spirit, for your presence, your physical presence on earth. Some gut stuff coming up for some people. So just notice that. We'll come back to that in a minute. And be aware of yourself in your body. And then look around your room, like I'm doing now. And be aware of being in your body, and be aware of being in your body and your body in the room, in the space that you're in. And if you're outside, maybe, Jubilee, just that immediate environment around you. So further than arm's length out, that's your energy field. Hey, Asta popping up on Instagram. And really see if you can just come into that skin level. So you're liking that being inside. And so when I say inside, I feel like I need to go in a little bit more concretely here for some of you here less familiar with this. So that's fine. So it's that casing, it's that outer parameter of your physical body is your skin, and pulling back inside your body. Alexandra, hello. So it's like you become aware of yourself in your space. You become aware of yourself looking at what's your environment. So your awareness is more on you looking around your environment than it actually is on what you're looking at, even though you're still probably seeing what you're looking at. Yeah. You're not totally disengaged from that. Yeah. And just notice how that slows you down, brings you down. Yeah, there's somebody who was coming in here and was a little bit more, let's say, covered up with some heaviness. So that just like kind of peeled off with layers. So that's really good. Like a layer. And let's connect into the core of the earth. So with your awareness, and you don't look down, feel your way down through your body, because what happens when you look down is that energetically people tend to pull out through their eyes and through their heads and ground that way, but that's not grounding, that's just looking down and kind of throwing your energy down. To really be grounded, you want to come down from the center of your head. So staying kind of upward and looking in front of you and just feeling kind of your awareness kind of move down through the middle of your head, through your neck, through your body, and dropping down through your legs if you're standing up, or if you're sitting, just like from your tailbone, dropping down to the core of the earth. And just keep dropping, because I'm tracking people again. And a lot of you are doing good. There's a couple of you who could keep doing better. Jubilee, you're actually doing better than you were last time, because I think last time you were up here, so you're not there so much. probably because you're doggy friend, you're enjoying your doggy friend. So it's like, that's more easeful for you, I think. And just kind of like you're just floating down all the way to the core of the earth. So keep going, 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 going. Okay. Most of the group is there, so just if you feel like you're there, you're gonna know it, because automatically, as soon as you're really tapped in, the energy starts coming right back up at you. And I see that happening for most everybody. So one person, I'm just going to pull you down, and you've got a little resistance to that because having people do things for you has been a way to control you, and so you're resisting that. That's okay. We can appreciate that. And so I'm just going to say, I'm just here to not make you do something, but to help you do something you're trying to do, and help you do it more concretely for yourself. Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, just, yeah, slowly, gently. And everybody who's there, just kind of feel yourself there and just connect in. It's always a nice place to just connect in, get that rest, that relaxation. How to wear white. Is it supposed to hurt a bit? No, it should. So where do you feel that it's hurting? Okay, so I'll clarify that, because technically not, but I can see how if somebody is really pulled out the top of their head, it might start to, and if you're usually like out the top of your head, when you start to come down, it's like your whole energy is moving down. And so that might feel uncomfortable and could even hurt it. Like if you have, for example, misalignments in your neck, and you don't normally feel it, but then when the energy starts coming down, you start becoming more aware of your body and being in your body. And so then that makes you more aware of what's already going on, kind of thing. So notice where it feels like my bones are settling into your body. Oh, nice one. Yeah. So feeling your bones, boy, that's a nice one. So the hurt, my sense of the hurt is not that it's something that's physically hurting, is that you're becoming aware of your body, kind of thing. And becoming more conscious, and that's typical. You know, for example, sometimes people will start to feel nauseous because they're becoming aware of their body, and an area of their body that's that's numbed out. So very good. So everybody's sitting down and feeling that core of the earth. So yeah, and also the bones, there's a sense that the bones don't have the density energetic density that you want them to have. So let's take a deep breath in from the core of the earth, and just imagine with your in-breath just pulling that energy back up through your legs, let's focus on the bones. So we can help how to wear white here with the bones and make those bones even more white. Pulling that in through the bones. And that's actually really good for the bones, because that's the frequency that the bones really get the most support, is that grounding, that those red, amber, orange frequencies are what the bones need for density. If you think about it, it's pretty logical also in terms of human level, physical level logic. Density in the bones is created by gravity. Gravity is that pull into the earth. So when we're not pulled, letting ourselves get kind of anchored in by that, we're just pulling out energetically. Yeah, bones aren't getting what they need to get. Pulling it, so pulling through all those bones, breathing in. All right. All the way through your legs, through your pelvic bones, up the spine, up into the ribs, up into overflowing into the arms, all the way to the hands, and then back up into the neck and in the skull. So let's just breathing, putting your awareness on your whole skeletal system. So this is a really nice exercise to do on your own, is that you look at a like an image, a photograph or a drawing of the skeletal system, and you look at that, it's like, okay, that's my skeleton, and let yourself feel your skeleton in your body, you know, and kind of imagine that, visualize it, imagine that, to anchor that in. And then pulling those frequencies up through the earth, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of frequencies of other people in the bones today. They're showing up in the bones. I'm going to just check everybody here. That who I see it's on. Some of you are a little stronger than others, so that's all right. That's okay. That's normal. We're all kind of in our own place, own shifting. So let's really drop into the core of the earth, and this is going to be for a minute ago. I said, okay, there's people are. Some of you are carrying people in your gut area. So let's just allow ourselves to come fully into the core of the earth. So maybe feeling more kind of just dropping, literally kind of pulling down or being pulled down or dropping down, or kind of, you know, when you sink down into your bed, kind of feeling. Yeah, and so what is starting to happen, which is good, it's cool. I'm seeing this kind of swirling energy that's going from the earth into people's bones, into people's skeletal structure. And notice if there's some areas of your skeleton that are a little weaker than others, like feet. So if you tend to be out of your body or partially pulled up in your head more, you're probably energetically, you're likely not to be pulled all the way through to your feet. Okay. And so notice if you have a tendency to hide when you're in groups. And what I mean by that is that you don't show yourself too easily in groups. You might, like, for example, just act a certain way, which is kind of a way of putting on a facade. Show yourself in a certain way, in a certain kind of personality, or that's a way of hiding ourselves. Or some of you have more of a tendency to pull back and kind of disappear frequency-wise, energetically, and kind of make yourself invisible so that you're less noticed. Yeah. So fear. So yeah, that's bringing up. Wow, this is a good one. Yeah, bringing up a lot of different things for people. But there's pieces around family. Um, Hi, Laria. Good to see you. That's it. Good. You're. That's fine. Join in when you can. So just kind of connecting to the earth, and we're working on the bones and the skeletal system, and really being coming into this moment, and it's bringing up a lot of fear for people. So yeah, where I was just saying, kind of having a facade that we put on around other people. So there's the family group is coming up. There's I would say the external. Well, this is, yeah. I'm not going to get more specific with that because it's external to what was part of your home dynamics. So some of you it might have been extended family. Some of you might have, because you had people in your home environment that weren't necessarily family, but they were there all the time. So it gets to be like it kind of gets to be like family. So hiding from that, breathing into that. So shifting all of that. So as I kind of read off what's coming through for people, be aware that it's in the process of leaving. So if that sounds familiar, it's like, oh yeah, that sounds like me. It's like, yeah, okay, don't really want to go there. Just like say, okay, that's just going, that's just leaving. This is out of here. I don't need to hold on to this anymore. When you notice something in your field, it means that it's come up to your level of consciousness, your conscious awareness, that you're consciously aware of. It's not subconscious, you're aware of it. So it's coming to the surface. And when it reaches that point, you can get to be in that place of saying, okay, no, I don't want this anymore. If it's something you don't want, this is like, I want to be done with this. Let's just get rid of that program. Let's just rectify that program and change it so I can make clean choices for myself and have clean experiences. Oh, instead of repeating this. Yeah, there we go. That's helping people. So just keep focusing on your skeletal structure. I'm going to keep pushing this out because it's there's a lot of I'll just say density right now for that, but that is kind of clearing out from the group. Hardness. So it's this sense of hardness. Like sometimes some situations that we go through, they just feel hard. So that kind of hardness. So a lot of that is leaving people, leaving the whole group. Yeah. So you might feel lighter. You might feel yourself just feeling more at ease without necessarily having any specific reason, like, okay, yeah, I do feel more relaxed. This kind of feel brighter, lighter. Yeah, it's just dissipating for the group. So very nice. Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. It was just this really flavor of hard. That's the best way to put it. If that makes sense to any of you, if you want to comment in and say, yeah, I know what that, I know that feeling, or anything you want to share with what's happening here. That's good. So it's a very nice space because there's still some layers that are coming off from people, but generally the group space is really nice because it's basically more of nature frequencies that are present for the group, and it's almost like you can have a sense that it just kind of like sitting in a field of flowers. Kind of almost quite literally looks like that for me. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, and there's some emotion that's coming up there, which is fine. A little bit, it feels like it's just kind of this emotion. I think everybody on the call has probably felt that. I certainly have gotten to those places where all of a sudden it's like you're struggling so hard. You've been kind of like really just wanting to get to a better place, and then it feels like it's always just this effort, and then you get to where it just kind of, it's like putting down the suitcases, and so it's like, oh my God, it's like finally I'm here, and the emotion is more about kind of this grieving for having been in not that place before. You kind of realize it's like, oh my God, this is where I've been trying to get, and I haven't been there, kind of thing. So okay, let me look at Ilaria here. I've noticed when I drop into a deeper space, the energy pulls me towards the back. I sway backwards. Okay. Well, let's see why you're experiencing this. Okay, hold on a second. Well, part of it, Ilaria, is you have a tendency to be real up here in the forehead because you kind of process, there's a lot of mental processing for you, and the mental processing always happens in the frontal lobes. And so being more forwarded. So when you're actually relaxing in, and so you're dropping down, but energetically, what it feels like you're doing is, I'll turn sideways so you can see, it's like energetically, it's like you're here all the time. So you're always kind of pulled forward. There's another reason for that I'll get into in a minute. But and so when you're relaxing back, so your energy comes into your forehead and then down. So there's a lot of things that are going on there for you, and you also have this piece of, you've got a couple different pieces going on there. One is you're out with your sixth chakra. So your sixth chakra, when you pull out that much with your sixth chakra, you're like way too out there psychically, and you're picking up all this information, and you're just out there. So autistic people have a tendency to pull out there, and a lot of people who are intuitive, psychic are kind of also tend to be borderline, by the tests, borderline autistic. So, but it's that piece of being so far out, and yeah, I remember this one client. He was so far out, he could see he could know that a cop was 2 miles down the road when he was driving. You don't need to be that far out. I mean, I guess like that might be a good good use, but then you have to be able to pull yourself back in. If you can't pull yourself back in, then you're just kind of messing up. Wisdom happy sounds like me. Yeah. So do I experience this at all? I have experienced that when it's like, oh, coming back in and then dropping down. I'm spice of SB. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but that sounds kind of cute. Okay. And the other piece for you, Ilaria, is you're always kind of pulling forward because you're trying to kind of get away from the people on your back or hanging on your back. So you've got kind of those different dynamics going on for you. Like family wanting you to carry them forward, right? Does that stop? Can't stop yawning. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Let's everybody take a deep breath into that yawn, right? Yeah. settling back in. So yawns can mean different things. And there's two options there for you. I'll let you kind of figure that one out for yourself, but it can be like all of a sudden things are opening up and the energy is moving. And so you keep yawning because it's like taking deeper breaths and you're wanting to, hey, Joni, thanks for joining in. And also, you might notice that when you're centered in yourself and really present and centered, and maybe you go out with some friends and then you start yawning, check yourself, because that can happen when people are tapping into you energetically. And so it's your system trying to kind of catch your breath. It's like kind of, short for Asperger's. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yes. I'm yawning a lot too. Yeah. So kind of going deeper into that piece of connecting in, and the energy starting to just kind of open up, so it's like taking deeper, a yawn is kind of a way of kind of deep inhale, and taking that oxygen in. And it's a way to reset. You can kind of force a yawn. See if I can remember to do it, because it's a good way to reset your breath, kind of. My dog is my sleeping dog is suddenly restless, and I'm trying to get my attention. Yes, like other people who are used to having because you're doing something different, and when we do something different, people will be all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait a minute, no, you can't do that. And it's not consciously, but energetically it's happening, and try to kind of hold on to you. Oh, so I think, your dog, there's a shift, and it's like, oh, wait, what's going on here? I'm not used to this. Yeah. Like my sense is your dog is used to you being on a high alert a lot. In fact, probably most of the time, if not just about all the time. And so if you're not in that state, it's all of a sudden, it's like, oh, what happened? Like maybe you're not in that high alert state when something like you're falling asleep or whatever. So that's catching your dog's attention. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's bring our awareness back down to the core of the earth. So that yawning for people, a lot of kind of shortness of breath, because a lot of just breathing in the upper chest instead of full breaths that go all the way to the lower, you can't see my hands, but to the lower ribs. That's where your breath should really start. So let's bring our awareness down to our lower ribs. And as you breathe, just bring your awareness to your breath. Your breath expanding your ribs. So your ribs expanding out in all directions. And you can even put your hands there. And with your breath, purposely breathing in, push against your hands. Wisdom Happy. My client's dog is doing the same thing today, all over the place. As soon as started barking, he got so calm for OG event yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how they pick up on stuff that we're like, what are they picking up on? But they're picking up on the energy. They're picking up on what their environment is like. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, how to wear white, you could really work on coming into your legs more. There's a cutoff point. You've got a cutoff point in your body, and it's almost like you've got this bubble that goes above your head to about your hips, and it's there, and you're actually. Wow, this is kind of interesting. So I imagine if your energy field is going from above your head down to your around, this kind of oblong shape, and it goes to your below your hips. Normally, you should be all in there. So your legs are out of there. Would it help to stand? Yeah, that could help to stand and just kind of coming into your legs. Also, just kind of squeezing your legs and feeling your legs, bringing your consciousness back. Whoa, you've got. I would say you have a lot of stuff that's there. A lot of distortions that's from your hips in your genital area. There's a lot of trauma there that needs to be released. And so you can do this for yourself by just bringing your awareness there and letting it come out. And you'll start to feel it. But the more you allow yourself to be there and feel it, the more it'll be releasing out of your tissues. And so that's part of what's going on. So your legs are all of that. It just needs you in there. My dog hasn't been eating, so no appetite. Your dog's kind of funny, Larry. I'm sorry, but I've seen your dog. He's kind of no offense, but your dog is kind of all over the place. So that feels like the dog is getting its cues from stuff in your environment too, and feels disoriented there. So let's bring our awareness let's just drop back into the core of the earth. Let's kind of bring that there's a lot of pieces floating around here for people. So let's just come into that core of the earth. Kind of just imagine yourself like you're going into the sauna or the spa room, the jacuzzi of the earth. Yes, feel that also. Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, right. You're welcome. So just allowing yourself to be in that space of nurturance by the earth. There's a lot of emotions that I would say how to wear white. I think that's you especially. You've got a lot of emotions that are still in your body that need to be worked out. You can go into your head really easily, and you can explain it, you can go into it, but really just allowing that to just come through and expressed without kind of going into that analysis of it, just being in that emotion for yourself. You don't need to do that with anybody else, but you need to do that for yourself to really be present with yourself. So that I'm feeling that coming through as we're just in the space of just the earth. Let's take this last shift here that's happening for people. So allowing yourself to be just in that deep holding space of the earth. Oh, Star Galaxy just joined. I don't know when you joined, but I just noticed you now. Since I'm not always looking at the screen here. So just allowing yourself, just to sink into that holding space of the earth. Wow. Yeah, nature's coming back through again. That those frequencies of nature are showing back up. And Nature will support you. Well, is there, is that support, because it's like the pure support we can have, um, because it's pure. It's just there, and that's why animals are so wonderful. That's why we love dogs and animals so because they're just there. There is none of this, all of this other stuff, that all of these distortions that come up. So that it's nature allows us to just be, because animals just are. They're not thinking it's like, oh well, it's like, yeah, I better put on my mustache today. I better put on my lipstick because it's like that little doggy over there is not going to be looking at me otherwise. I mean, they're just like, it's just whatever. They're just there. They're just present. They're not going, oh God, look at my coat, the way it's brushed. It's like, oh my God, there's that wave in my coat over there. It's like, oh geez, I wish I could just brush that out. No, it's just like, okay, it's there. Yeah, whatever, move on, kind of thing. Yeah, there we go. Just coming into that, yeah. Breathe in that stillness. Let yourself kind of relax in to that stillness. So stillness is hard. Stillness can be hard because then you really start to notice yourself. There's just you. So if you can allow yourself to get past those pieces and just be present with yourself, that's the most loving thing you can do for yourself, is just to be present with what shows up. No judgments, no trying to push it back, no trying to deny it, no trying to make reasons, excuses for it, explanations. You're just there, you just feel it. It's like you're saying to yourself, it's like, oh God, I see you. I know this is not a great place to be, but I'm here with you. Yeah. There we go. And stillness is it's not an easy place to go. That's why you have people listening to so much stuff all the time, always plugged into their phones, to their music, to the news, to whatever, to the noise, because the hard stuff is going to be the first thing that you hit. So you have to kind of like keep going through those layers of more difficult stuff until you get to that core purity of your essence, and where it's just smooth. So that's kind of showing up right now. So just allow it to come through. And just that fullness of being. Sometimes it's difficult to listen to my higher self. Yeah, I like that. I love that, because I think we all go through that. It's the human has this thing we just get so caught up in that supposed to, that how you think it's meant to be, how it's supposed to look like, the supposed to, the shoulds, or the wants, or yeah. And so just dropping into that, dropping into that difficulty, dropping into why it's difficult. You've had a lot of struggles as a kid, when you were growing up. I think that's part of where it comes from. And so it almost feels like listening to your higher self is listening to an adult, and you don't want to have to do that because it wasn't fun when you were a little kid. Does that make sense to you? Star Galaxy. So that there's that resistance there. Yeah, there we go. Yes, it does. Yes, yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to, work with that piece. Be with yourself. Let that come in let that difficulty, let that not having been heard, always being told, kind of feeling, and hear yourself out with that. 'Cause it's like there's more than just you and your higher self there. There's your child, your inner child, that part of you that was a child. There's you now who's just put that comment up there. And then there's that higher your spirit, your higher self, however you wanna identify that part of us that is connected to that oneness, to that expansive state, to that purity of essence. That is our purity of essence kind of thing. And there's the part of you that wrote that comment is in the middle. So start talking to that inner child and saying, okay, let's sit, let's just be here together with this one. And tell me how that feels. What was difficult for you? Get into a conversation. It's amazing how that can really unfold and unravel a lot in you and heal that part of yourself that that's still there, the inner child, if you want to call it that, or that part of you that got stuck in that space. Because it's like in the moment we experience something, and it gets frozen. It gets literally just kind of gelled into our energetic makeup, and it just stays there until we can unthaw it. If you can, sometimes it feels that way, it just starts thawing out, or when it can just loosen up and be expressed, and then it's like, oh, okay, and that's it. Yeah. All right. Let's take another nice deep breath in. I'm just gonna kind of run through and see if there's anything else for anybody with the names here that I see. Alexandra, you feel pretty nice and relaxed, in a good place. Lydia, too, you're doing good. You're doing nice compared to some other times that has been rough for you. Let's see how to wear white. How to wear white? Yeah, it's delicate for you right now, and that's okay. That there's a lot of hesitancy. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of just wanting to get beyond that, but you're really not sure how to. So you can come back and listen to this, but also just giving yourself that space to be present with yourself and literally go through your body, like feel your hands. It you've got that whole area from like your hips on down, slowly coming into that area. You don't jump in all at once. You just go in as far as you can handle it. It's a little edgy, but you can still kind of like, okay, I can hold on to that. I can hold on to that. It feels really uncomfortable and then you just breathe into that. You stay present with that. And then it gets a little easier. It loosens up. It feels okay, and then take a break, come back at another time. Do it little by little. Laria, yeah. Laria, you're doing good too, compared to some other times. Wisdom happy. Let's see, wisdom happy. Yeah. I think the dog thing it feels really good for you. I like that. It gets you, the dog thing, for you, wisdom happy, is that it helps you take you out. It's like it kind of takes you out of your place in the sense of it distracts you away from the difficulties you feel you have with people. So it's that it kind of takes you in that pure interaction kind of thing, of just and just be able to be. I know you had a lot of problems with people, so and I imagine, with Asperger's, yeah, there was a great movie I saw a long time ago. It was such a cool story of this man who's an artist who's got Asperger's. And then this woman comes and poses for him. And there's the movement thing, and he's like kind of with the paint going all over the place, and then with the vocalizations that are just, and she's just kind of sitting there really patient. And then there's this, it's a really uh, beautiful story, love story, basically. He is calm. He's been pure hell. This house is good energetically, not always good environment when I show up on Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so it goes with life, right? And it's about learning to, nothing is static, nothing is constant except change. So learning to be stronger within ourselves and have that clarity of alignment of sense of self, that coherence and cohesiveness of our energy and our sense of self, so that we don't get thrown off so easily. And to give you a sense of what that is like in a particular context, because it's easier to kind of describe it, but taking that into everything else, when into that. Okay, let me describe a lot, because I'm trying to get a little lost and to explain it. So imagine yourself walking down the street. You're perfectly focused on where you're going. Somebody walks by, makes a loud noise. Okay, what often happens is we jump, and that's an example of how we don't have enough uh, stability within ourselves, and we get thrown off by the sound. Getting to a point where you're walking down the street, that the sound happens, you stay focused exactly on what you're doing, where you're going, and you just notice the sound, but you're right there. You don't go like, oh, or somebody calls your name, or hey, or whatever, and you just anchor in more even to yourself. So taking that anchoring, so it's something to build up and develop and strengthen for you, for yourselves, all of us, to just be in that presence of yourself, focused, anchored in, grounded, right where you are. You're still kind of aware of what's going on, but it doesn't throw you off. The more you come into that place, the more centered you are for everything. Okay, very good. Let's take another nice deep breath in from the core of the earth. Feeling that connection to the earth. Always something we can come back to whenever we need it, because that will just anchor it in. Yeah. Yeah. How to wear white, you're kind of work in progress. You're learning how to do this. Just show up again, and we can, you'll get some more work with this here. You tend to do that mentally, which is going to be a really different feeling as you work on actually grounding. So everybody here is on. You're new here, and everybody else has been here before, so they're kind of in a groove. They kind of know how it works, and they're familiar with this space. So that's fine. You just keep working on it. We all go through those moments when we're not as present, even when we come into that space. So really good. Okay, well, here we are. Next week, I believe, is next week April. Oh my God. Yes, I think it is, because today's the 27th. So we're back to 6 hours apart Eastern Standard Time. Yes, next Wednesday we will be on back to 6 hours difference. So it'll be 7 p.m. Central European Time and 1 p.m. for Eastern Standard Time, and then figure it out from wherever you are beyond that, since we've got people from all over the place here. So really good. Thanks you all for stopping by. Oh, let me just quickly if you feel like making a value donation, as I call it, if you're on Instagram, you just go to the link in the bio and you'll see follow it there. But on YouTube, there's a little value donation. I just feel like making a little donation in recognition for my work, but also for yourself for showing up and saying, no, I'm worth this kind of thing. So place for you. Let's see. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Asta. Thank you for showing up, and thank you very much from How to Wear White. Thank you, Ilaria. Yeah, thank you. And you're welcome. And for everybody, and thank you for stopping in, because it's me doing the work, but then it's also you contribute to the space, and you bring what needs to be focused on. I know. So it's an interactive thing. It's fun. All right. Take care, everybody. And next Wednesday, same time, same place. In the stateside, it will be at a different time, but it will be the same 7 p.m. for me. Do you link and not just a UPC? So I'm assuming you, yeah, you're making a, where to look to donate. You know, Wisdom Happy, you can, if you want, just send me a message on Telegram, since I know we're there together. But otherwise, it's QR code there. And if you are on Instagram, then you go to the link in the bio, and then you'll see it's Linktree, and then you'll see one of the options there for that. But if you're not there, then I know we're connected on Telegram, so you can send me a message there if you wish. But you know, as you wish. No, it's not obligatory. Just as a thank you. So thank you all for showing up, and see you next round. You know, whether it's next Wednesday or wherever else we connect, and in the ethers at least. So take care, everybody.